Welcome, everyone, to episode 215 of Just Joshing. I'm your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff in podcast 2. Today, I have a dynamic duo as my guests. Shawn Bird and Nikki Jones join the podcast. So this is going to be a very shoe-centric show. I'm going to warn you guys up front. Shawn and Nikki, I did a book together called Nikki, Knox, and Her Shoes That Rock, and it is a very fun, groovy kind of story. Nikki is a very, very talented illustrator, and I don't know whose idea for the format it was, but she really, really did a heck of a job on that. And Shawn is, awesome writer in her own right, and they just fit together very well like peanut butter and jelly. It just works, and it's fun. Nikki Knox and Her Shoes That Rock, you should definitely go bug either of them for it. And like I said, it was a really cool conversation. Beyond all that, I'm in the middle of the day job Christmas rush. Nothing like lifting 20 Bowflexers in 10 minutes. Well, 20 minutes altogether, but mostly because I had to wait for them to come to me, not the other way around. But yeah, they're 120 pounds. I actually had muscle tone for a second when I was done lifting that stuff. It's kind of, I'm in that groove, so that's why you're not hearing from me as much right now. It's just I'm focused on doing what I'm supposed to do until Christmas on the day job. Beyond all that, no, it's just like I said. It's just I'm just doing my thing. I'm counting down to Christmas. I hope everybody's doing the same thing. But anyways, let's get to that conversation, shall we?
Something's on my lap. Is that better?
Bring your lamp over.
Actually, if it makes you feel a little better, no one's going to see you guys when this airs. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to see her.
Okay, you can see. Okay, then you can see her.
Brighter than you. Okay.
My lamp is directly in front of my computer.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it is because it's behind. If I turn.
This is good. All right. So I am with the dynamic duo of Shawn Bird and Nikki. Oh my God, last name, hang up here.
Jones.
Nikki Jones. Because I keep having it's the Nikki Knox. I'm just gonna blame Nikki Knox for that. I'm just gonna totally do that.
If that makes it better, I don't know.
What? Oh, it's just Nikki Knox, Nikki Jones. Like brain flow. But anyways, so ladies, I always open with this question. If you have anything incriminating you'd like to say, make it good.
Incriminating?
Yeah.
It's all fault. Hashtag Nikki's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikki's fault. Yeah, Shawn's fault though. I think would be the better hashtag. You have considerably more pairs of shoes than I do, so it's more Shawn's fault.
Oh, okay.
We started this over shoes, right? And we end up buying shoes, and we always hashtag Nikki's fault because, I hashtag Nikki's fault because she makes me buy these really nice shoes, and then she blames me when she buys the expensive shoes, and she does hashtag Shawn's fault. So
Okay.
we're always blaming each other for our own addictions.
So.
Yeah, I blame you way more. You completely corrupted me. Just saying.
Right.
Uh-huh. So, you're both addicted to shoes. Gotcha.
Addiction is it's a negative connotation. I feel like it's more like a healthy habit.
Obsession.
Healthy obsession?
Obsession?
Healthy.
It's less that.
I'm totally obsessed with shoes. That's your thing. I gotcha. Okay.
Shoes are our celebration.
They're a celebration? What do they celebrate?
Oh, all sorts of things. That's the whole premise of the Nikki Knox series. Empowerment of awesome shoes.
Okay. So, granted, me, literature-wise, the most awesome shoes I've ever seen are the ruby red slippers. So how does Nikki Knox's Shoes That Rock compare to them?
Are you wearing them, Nikki?
Not the ruby red ones, but actually I need a pair of red ones. That's probably one of the few colors that I have a couple, but not as many as I feel like I need.
So, what would we say? We would say that Nikki Knox's shoes are a reflection of her growing power. So they don't give her power, But as she gains her own power, she can reflect that power to the outside world because of the awesome footwear that she is got on her feet. It makes sure that everybody around her knows that she's got that power. And Nikki Knox came to be because of a true story. So, want to talk about it, Nikki Jones?
Well, the short version of the actual creation of the character, it was a name floating around, hanging out with some friends of mine, the Knoxes, actually. I showed up in a pair of, funny that you mentioned red slippers. I had a pair of knee-high, compass boots. I think they were blue-dog compass boots. They had red laces. And my friend Jamie Knox laughed and, was noticing the footwear. The footwear is always noticed. And, it kind of became this joking, my name being Nikki, his last name being Knox. It just became this joke that, Nikki Knox would be this character that would wear. And then the name just floated around in my head for a bit longer, and I remember bringing it up to Shawn. I was like, Nikki Knox would be kind of a badass superhero name, wouldn't she? And then being the avid shoe fans that we are, kind of fun for mulling it over and took shape there. But even going back before that empowerment, and it was quite literally the first painting that I sold. I bought a pair of really ostentatious bright blue boots, and it's actually the same boots that Nikki Knox has in that first book there. I sold a painting. It was, I hadn't sold any, I didn't have the confidence, anything like that, to actually do art for money in a lot of personal situations where you're keeping me from that. And I just said, you know what, I really like those boots. And I just sold this painting. I was pretty proud of myself, and so that was actually my first... what I did with it was I bought those particular boots, and it was just sort of the beginning of the yes, I'm gonna go out there and move from the regular, boring black flats that I always wore, and all of a sudden I'm wearing these electric blue, crazy heels, and just it kind of snowballed from there, I think. So it kind of really fit with the character that we were thinking of.
Yay!
Well, so it sounds to me like the shoes were kind of like a permission thing for you.
Yep. A little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, I was all these years of painting, drawing, and for myself, had a lot of support. It's nice, you're an artist, it wasn't really, I did it on the side, didn't have a lot of confidence, and so when someone actually bought one of my paintings, that was a big deal for me. It kind of made me feel like I was, wow, like I'm good enough, someone's literally willing to support this and actually gave me actual money for this. It's crazy, so then it was things like that, and just being able to have the confidence to pull off a pair of boots like that, because you walk into a room wearing a pair of electric blue boots, somebody's going to notice those, and so that while they notice you as well, they're going to notice you as well while you're wearing those sorts of things. So it takes a certain level of confidence to actually be willing to wear those things in public, and I guess it just sort of went hand in hand with me, actually embracing that creative side and being able to do it. So, telling Shawn this, hanging out when words collide, just laughing about this character that's floating around his name in my head. I told her that story. I think we were wearing matching shoes at the time. Pretty sure it was, a light bulb in her head, and she, having her own creative, sort of for shoes and things like that, I think, kind of struck a chord there, and that was a crazy idea of waiting for a session to start.
So, Miss Shawn.
Yep.
So, that's her secret origin of superpowered shoes. Do you have a similar story, or is just kind of...
I do. And it's kind of how we had the idea, we had the name, and we wanted to do superpower boots, so we sat down after When Words Collide was over. We went out for dinner, and we were talking about our own stories, and I asked her where she had first boots, and that was the story she told me. And then I was thinking about my own version of that, which was when I have been looking at Fluevog shoes and boots for a really long time. I've been admiring them on the website, but I didn't want to spend that kind of money. And I mean, I was wearing weird footwear. I wasn't totally in the black stuff, but it wasn't until I sold my first novel. It was tracked for Grace Awakening, and it was published and it was out, and I bought my first crazy boots. They're Libby Smith boots, so it's very similar style boots to the electric blue one she's talking about. Button up, spat kind of boots with weird little heels, like definite showstopper. Everybody is going to notice you when you're wearing these boots. And I think it was a real declaration of creative power, and there's no hiding when you're wearing that kind of footwear, and it's embracing your creative side. So it's quite fascinating. If you go to a big conference, like I would go to the Surrey International Writing Conference most years, should be there this weekend.
Sorry.
And when I go there, practically every second person will notice my shoes and then say, "Oh, I have a pair too." And then at the banquet, everybody comes and they put their feet together and they get foot selfies, and you have this huge creative population that live in these shoes. And so we're not the only ones who do this. But, Nikki Knox takes it quite literally. So we generated this character who works in an advertising agency and is being and not able to live her full abilities, and then she reaches a point where she's not going to take it anymore, and she embraces that moment and celebrates with boots, and then everyone else knows that she's got that power, and we see a change in her by the end of the first book, and then there will be more. So when my concussion is better and I'm allowed to write again, I will finish the next book in the series. I think the art is already done, isn't it, Nikki?
The cover's done. The back cover with the shoes will be done shortly, and they're going to be the men's version actually too, because there is a sidekick that's going to be a version involved for there.
So sidekick.
Nikki Knox and her sidekick. So that book is in progress. I'd say, I don't know, a third of the way, halfway through the first draft of that one. So, yeah, a couple months.
Well, whenever the concussion syndrome symptoms are going away, real quick before we continue, how are you holding up?
It's a day-to-day thing. I think it's really, really great, and then I guess I push myself, and then I'm moving backwards again. So it's damn concussions. I mean, there's a big dent in my head. I guess it's going to be there forever. CAT scan didn't notice anything in particular, so we're just going to have to be in for the long haul and behave.
Behave? You don't seem you don't seem like the behaving type normally. This must be frustrating.
It is very difficult to stay away from screens. I haven't had any trouble with TV. I haven't had the TV on since I hit my head, but the computer is a little more difficult.
What?
I'll have to remind you once in a while when I get a message or something where someone's chatting back and wait, you're not supposed to be talking to me right now.
You have to be a good person. You're like, I don't want to be a good person, though.
Well, the nice thing is that I touch type, so I really don't have to look at the screen, except for to read whatever somebody else is saying. So I can. I actually did write a short story my first week off work with the concussion by covering a towel over the top of my computer so I could not see the touch typing at all. So that was my sneaky way. But of course, my brain was probably working as I was writing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Well, I hope I'll be on the tail end of it.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So good luck. So, how does your collaboration process work? Because you're working together. She draws. You primarily write. But I've known this from my own personal experience. It's not like Nikki wouldn't have her own ideas of where the story would go. You wouldn't have your own ideas where the story would go. So how does a draft of this actually work?
Well, what we did when we went out for dinner is I pulled out my notebook, and it was really funny because Nikki was, well, she should be wearing this, and she should be looking like this, and all of stuff she had was visual. It was like, okay, Nikki, get what she looks like. Now we have to think about what's her problem and how is it going to be resolved by the end of this story.
English teacher on me.
Yes, well, you know.
And it's not like Nikki doesn't know this, because Nikki is a teacher. Like, she knows how to teach writing. So,
I know. Aspect of it was funny. I think that's why we work so well together, is that I've got that visual going and Shawn's got the characterization. She's got that writer's brain a little bit more than I teach English as well, but the art teacher is floating around in my head, so I've got that visual going. So I think that's where we work so well together. And we've got those common interests with the cues and whatnot, and just being so bright and bold and creative that way. And then once we finally got on, okay, well, we've got the visual down, we've got the name down, we've got the premise, the character down. And Shawn sort of asked me questions even about my creative process. What were the first three log shoes, what were the blue electric? How did that come to be? And then we just sort of, it was almost like chatting and talking about the origins of all of this. Where did this idea come from? And about the commission painting, selling a painting, buying the boots in the hole that it wasn't something that it would have been okay for me to have just gone out and bought a pair of boots like that. I had to, I sold this painting, it was that environment, but I also knew that it wasn't going to be as well received, right? And so, having to figure out a way of, I really do want the boots, and it was definitely you'd actually go out and just physically buy them for a lot of different reasons. One of which being the fact they were just so bright. Can I pull these off? Well, I actually put them on my feet and go out in public, and so just that dialogue back and forth, almost just talking about our own experiences with these shoes, with these boots, and then from that, went all English teacher and actually had the plan there, and okay, well then, here's our character, here's our initial incident, what is our problem, what are we solving, and then that's when we sort of realize that our character really did, have that, do we want her to get the shoes and then become empowered, and think that, or do we want the empowerment to start earlier, and then that's the reason for the book. And so then it just kind of started really broad, like sharing our own experiences, and then it started to become like fleshers and actual stories and actual character, and then that's kind of how it started to go. And it was actually really easy for us, because it was like I would say something, and Shawn would say something, and it was just these ideas just all coming together, because we had such similar creative journeys and experiences and characters, and so it kind of just became that started. We even ended up planning out the first 2 or 3 that way, just sitting there over dinner and butter chicken or something after when words collide there. So
at the end of that dinner, we had 2 stories completely drafted out. So she knew Lily and I knew what the whole stories were, beginning, middle, and end. So then we went off, and actually we were staying together at a bed and breakfast. So she pulled out her paints and started painting, and I started typing. And then that first night we got, you got probably half your work done, or a third of your work done, and I got about a third of the story done. And so we could see it right there after that first evening of collaboration. But then we had to go home. And Nikki lives in Edmonton, and I live in Salmon Arms, so we're about 1,000 kilometers apart.
About that, yep.
So then it's just do for the next one, whether we'll just sit and have a conversation like this on a screen and books 3 and 4 and figure out where they're going to go, and who knows how many there'll be.
So I guess I'll ask this then. Is there a master plan? Do you guys know where this is all going to end up?
No.
I think that's like any artist. It's sort of a creative journey, and things almost they happen as they happen. But I mean, there's a lot of the different pairs of shoes. Different stories, different powers for each one, perhaps. Potentially a lot of stories if we really want it to be, right? So we've got Nikki Knox in the first story, kind of showing Marty how she, gets the walk, she gets the shoes, things start happening for her. Second book, we've got a sidekick, and then after that, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go with these shoes?
You know that I have over 50 pairs of Fluvogs, and Nikki, how many do you have?
Oh, God.
I think I'm set at 24 pairs now.
So we have 74 pairs of shoes, and every one of those shoes is a story.
Oh, good Lord.
Only a few are the same, and whenever we get a chance to be in the same area at the same time, we like to have the same pair on because it's fun. Do that on purpose? Yes, we did.
Yeah, we do. What's your problem? Nothing wrong with that. So I mean, it sounds like. So when you guys first met? Did you meet at the When Words Collide initially, or did you guys meet somewhere else first?
Yes, we met at When Words Collide. We actually met, and I looked at her feet, and she looked at my feet, and we were both wearing Fluvogs, and we went, I love your shoes!
I was wearing those blue ones, actually. The electric blue baby cakes I was wearing at the time, too, funny enough, and we met over a pair of shoes.
Because you guys sound like, was it this When Words Collide you met, or was it a previous one?
Last year, so
Okay.
we met in 2015 for the first time.
You sound like old friends. Like, you sound like very old friends.
Chatting back actually about, and then of course, being the reason for the other spending ridiculous amounts of money on footwear. I'm not sure, and then Shawn's always really good about, no, you really should just, I don't know, no.
Right, yeah. And when I say that, Nikki's the one on the other end going, Nikki's fault, hashtag Nikki's fault.
It's
To
hilarious.
encourage you, not push or anything. No, we encourage each other's purchases, and we celebrate all the such you can celebrate any milestone, no matter how small, with a pair of
Oh, jeez. Good Lord.
I celebrated applying for my master's, being accepted for my master's, every course that I finished in my master's, my last course in my master's, and then graduation, all with separate shoes.
Dear
We
God.
celebrated our collaboration. We went and got the same pair in the Calgary Fluevog store. Took pictures.
Yep.
That was our celebration there. And actually, I do need a pair for doing the Edmonton Expo. I finally got brave Edmonton Expo. I signed up for Calgary. I need to get a celebration pair for actually, being brave enough to do that, and it's going to also I don't know. Something.
So.
In Calgary, you go off to the Calgary Expo in the. When is that next?
The expo is always in April. I also celebrate the holiday version too, so there's several reasons I could celebrate.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 about doing the expo this year. I could, but I already got a lot of shows booked for myself already this year. Like Seattle, San Diego.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm not done. Vancouver, Creative Inc., When Words Collide, and possibly CanCon and Ottawa. Those are the 5 for sure I'm thinking I'm hitting, and I'm probably going to do one more, but I'm not sure which one I'm doing yet.
Wow.
I've
never been to one.
Which one?
Well, I've never been to any. I go to conferences like When Words Collide and the Surrey Internet and the Word on the Lake Writers Conference. So I do writers conferences, but I've never done like fan things or expos. So I can't imagine enough books to make it worth my while.
You're close, actually. You're actually close.
Sorry?
You're actually close. I did the math on it. So I have 3 books. So for me, the math isn't quite right at 3 books, but not by much. It's like okay, for a table and everything else, although that's a little different for me now because I get pro badges now, which means my stuff's a little cheaper, right? But prior to this, prior to getting pro badges, it would cost me, I'd have to sell 30 plus books to make it worth my trip. If I have 4 books, that's easy for me to do. Right? You have Nikki Knox, you have Murdering Mr. Edwards, and you have a few other books as well. Theoretically speaking, you could do it. The question is, right, are you comfortable being around that many people all the time? If the answer is yes, you could do it.
Yeah, that's not an issue. I'm a drama teacher extrovert, so.
Well, then at that point, then honestly, you should try one. You honestly should, right? Whether it's the Edmonton Expo would be ideal because Miss Nikki here would probably love to have you, right? But also, I'm not crazy about Fan Expo. That's not really good. It's not a great show. I like it for some reasons, but it has nothing to do with money. But there are some decent shows out there, and I think you'd be surprised. I mean, just be approachable, be yourself, wear your shoes, let people come to you, and you might be pleasantly surprised, right?
I've met people that they've seen my shoes on Instagram that showed up and then they asked me specifically, "Can you show me your feet?"
Yes.
Because we saw you on Instagram and we wanted to see your feet. My first Fan Expo, I never done Edmonton Expo. I never even gone to one. And one of those things that in my previous life was not something I've heard. But I've always been a big fan of things like that. So the art that I was doing, I was finding that regular art shows wasn't really like connecting with people as much. And it was like, maybe I'll just quit doing art. I'll just do it for myself. My friends are like, know that you're doing like pictures of like Yoda and Wonder Woman and like nerdy stuff. And I was like, okay, what are you saying? And they're like, well, maybe you should try an expo for yourself. I'm like, fine, I will do one. And then it was overwhelming. Like, the people I could talk to. It wasn't even that I was there selling art. It was more, and even I had the Nikki Knox books there too. And it was not even that. It was just connecting with people. I was like, wow, it's like an entire room full of people just like me. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you like Shawn, honestly, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. What I'm doing when I do San Diego's a little bit different, but Seattle, what I'm planning to do is I'm bringing my board game I'm working on, and I'm going to be challenging people all weekend to play my board game. If they happen to buy books, fantastic. But I'm actually more interested in actually testing out my board game with a bunch of people. I figure, they may want to beat the Queen of Hearts in the game, So that's kind of what I'm that's my goal, and also, but doing something like that, it's interactive, it's fun, right? And you get the opportunity to meet people and connect with people that you want to read, right? That want to read your stuff, and that's the goal, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to push you. I'm not trying to push you into it if you don't want to do it. It's always good to try different things and kind of see what works.
Yeah. What I've been doing, I did my book tour for Murdering Mr. Edwards this year, and spent a lot of time going to libraries and doing writing workshops. So what's really nice there is that you don't have a table rental. You're providing a service, so the library pays you an honorarium, and so you know for sure that you're going to come out ahead from the beginning, right? So the risk is much less than I've thought about doing farmers markets or something like that, but I haven't. It's hard because I do work full time, right? So I have I have the summer that I can. And honestly, I don't necessarily want to play with my summer. I kind of like to just enjoy my summer. So, yeah, it's a bit. This year was all about book touring and workshopping, and it was actually fine. But man, when we had all those forest fires going all over, and I didn't want to be going anywhere. I wanted to be at home in my air conditioning with my face mask on. So.
I mean, everybody's a little different. Like for me, like I'm looking at the fact that I have a bunch of different irons in the fire, and they're kind of some of them are striking like while they're hot. So I might as well go out and try while the iron's hot to get myself out there as much as I can. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. Now, again, everybody's at a different point in time. Now, of the three of us, Nikki actually has the shot of doing the absolute best at conventions. Because
Yeah.
Being the team that we are, you know, she's the author, she's the writer. Being the artist, it actually almost works for us for me to do that part of it.
well, yeah.
So, bring the book with us, and then Shawn's got the literary aspect, the literary girl.
Yeah, I mean that works too. That works. No, it works because you do well at conventions because your art's awesome. So people go, ooh, pretty. Let's go see. Oh my God, she's got shoes. And then you already have your like dialogue to talk and deal with.
To dress up too. I love costumes. So I got to be Wonder Woman, and I had a Marauders map, and I had my corset dress. It was great.
Yeah. I mean that's all right. That now was fun for you. And like I said, whereas Shawn might not be quite so keen to travel as much, which is totally fine, right? You're right in that venue. You can go there. You have like a big leg up. I mean, all I have is my big mouse, right? That's all I really have. So I have to be very creative, fast on my feet, right? People already know it. Yeah, they just look above. It's like, wow, that's an amazing picture. Did you do that? Yes.
I think we have Nikki has the benefit of having a wide, varied product, right? She's got original art. She's got basically art at all prices along the spectrum, so that if somebody likes something that she's got, they can invest $5 or they can invest $300, and so that's a nice broad spectrum of opportunity, and also a wide variety of she's got her Outlander art, and she's got her Doctor Who art, and she's got Star Wars art, and she's got superhero art, so she's covering ground so widely that she's in a really good. I got 2 books and Nikki Knox is a story, so I would have to start thinking in a whole different marketing way, right? There would have to be. I mean, we could have our dozen Nikki Knox stories, and heck, I got lots more short stories. So Nikki, you can. Mrs. Wigglesworth is needed. We could do a cover for that one. That one just was shortlisted at the Surrey Writers Confest, so that one's got a seal of approval from some big.
Congrats.
We could do a cover for that one, and then we could add that one to the collection of possibilities.
So there you go. So, all right. So I'm gonna ask, I think, one last actual question here, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I kind of feel you two encourage each other, so I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask a tough one / nice one though. What have you learned from each other?
I would say that from Nikki, I have learned the power of thinking about the creativity and the flexibility of risk-taking, because Nikki's story is one of great risk, and it just makes me almost cry. I'm so proud of how far she's come and how to get where she is, and so it's been quite profound to have met Nikki and to be working with Nikki and to feel a little part of where she's going. Quite amazing.
I think from Shawn, I was able. I don't think I would even be doing any of this. I don't think that I'm not. Shawn, because, like I said, it started out as we were killing time before a session. We were talking about this, and as a character name, almost as a joke. Like, oh yeah, I was thinking of this, but I didn't have the confidence, and I had this character name and this vision in my head, but it was more just me making conversation, and I threw it out because we had been talking about, coming up with character names and stuff. So, saying it out loud, and she was like, wait a minute, that's actually a really good idea. It was just that, having the confidence from Shawn to even do any of this, right? She's got things published, she's out there, and she's like, this is a good idea, and actually doing it, because as I said in my previous life, I left a situation where art was not something I was encouraged in. It was only allowed, I guess, if you could use that word to do. And so, like I said, buying those boots with those very bright someone's gonna notice by selling a painting, that was the biggest first step in telling Shawn that story, because I left a life. It completely changed my life, leaving a situation where I couldn't be an artist. It wasn't encouraged, it wasn't allowed, it wasn't what I was doing. So being able to talk to Shawn, bring that up, we kept going with it, she kept asking about it. I wouldn't have done Evans Expo, I wouldn't have done all the fan art that I've done, I would have just kept it to myself, because art's been kind of a therapy. I used to almost be done in hiding just a little bit. It just wasn't a practical thing. It was frivolity, really. It was expensive. It was a habit that so many better things you can do. And so that's kind of where I was. And having left that and just taking that risk to get out of that and just say, this is who I am. All of this discouragement that I've had in my life about it, and it wasn't very important. I was stubborn enough to continue with it anyway, and then to have Shawn be there to do. She gave me the confidence to sign up for the expo, to even show her the sketches, to talk about the character. Really, even when we were sitting there planning on Calgary, I was going the day early for a situation was happening, and she's like, you don't need to. Like, you're here, we're working together, we're collaborating. Like, you don't need to go and deal with the situation that somebody else can handle. And you were giving me that confidence. I was like, what are you doing? It was like me being Nikki Knox in that moment, taking my car back. It's the first book even got written that night. So just those little things, like every time I need encouragement, not feeling like I can do it, or feeling like, I'm not good enough for this, my stuff isn't good enough. There's Shawn. Nope. she yells at me a little bit, I think, and Shody Capitals on, and she's, no, like, you really are, like, keep going, and it's that push and that confidence, and it's really panned out, really, like, it's been such a positive, and I think that had I not had Shawn there cheering me on and helping me out and just behind me, working with me, I don't think any of this would happen.
So we just watched Shawn Bird do a little bit of a blush right there. It's all good.
We were having this conversation at Windward's Club. So this is like the middle of August, and I said, when is the Fan Expo in Edmonton? He said, the end of September, and I said, we can have Nikki Knox ready to go for the Expo. And you were like, no, we can't. And I'm like, yes, we can. You will have published books for Fan Expo, and you did.
And I went home that day, and I was going back and forth. Should I do it? You were like, we can have it done. That it was almost like you were giving me a reason to do it. I was chickening out, because again, I was like, well, I'm gonna pay for a table that's in me, and it's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna feel awful. You're like, no, we can do it. So then I quite literally printed off the application for Argus Alley, and I popped a check, and I walked into my mailbox so that I would not be able to change my mind, because I knew that I would if it sat on my table. So after talking to Shawn, and he was saying, no, we can have the book, we can have it ready, and you have all your other art, you need to do this, I quite literally had to fill it out, put it in an envelope, stamp it, and walk it to the mailbox so that it could not be taken back, and I'm so glad that I did. It's been amazing. So, yeah.
Kudos to you. And you're blushing a little bit now, too.
Have you got your registration yet for when we're...
I'm going to, especially now that you're reminding me.
I just did mine yesterday, so do yours. We were at 28%, I think, when I
told them I'd sign up for the art. I think they're doing an art gallery again this year, so I told them I'd do it. So I'm taking those steps.
Well, I'm going to invite you both to my Dr. Seuss off next year. Yes. So
I think 4 Nikki Knox stories for the Artist Alley, at least. Deal?
Deal.
It'll be good. I'll buy some, but you both are gonna have to deface it. You're both gonna have to deface it if I buy some, though.
Oh, we'll sign them for you.
Excellent.
Yes. I even have a pen now. I didn't even think to bring one of those, like, silver pens that you sign stuff with. No one's gonna want my signature.
Absolutely.
I was shocked, so I
that was the only thing about what I got when I got it in the mail. Is like, she didn't sign it. I feel kind of bad.
Well, Shawn wouldn't have signed it, so it would only be half of the sign.
But
no one's gonna want my signature. I signed the artist.
Well, yeah, no. So.
I'm new. I'm learning.
You're gonna be a huge rock star. Come on, you gotta have your signature stuff ready.
People were taking pictures with me, but I was very humbled, actually.
It is surreal. It is really surreal when you get to that moment.
So surreal.
Yeah. All right.
Totally new.
Well, Nikki, honestly, you're good. Keep going. No, I mean this. You're good. Keep going. Take it from me and Miss Shawn. Miss Shawn will tell you the same thing. Doors open unexpectedly, right? Don't get in your own way. When the opportunities come, go for it. Okay? You deserve it. Everything you're going to get.
Advice. Don't get in your own way.
Yeah.
I was for the longest time, and
something I read a good Colleen Doran. She's a very well-known comic book artist, and but she's also an illustrator of high renown. She said the paradox of success is you can do everything right and not succeed. But here's the thing: if you don't do these steps, you can't succeed either, right? All you're doing is putting yourself out there and taking that leap of faith that here I am, this is what I can do, this is where I can go. And that's all you can do. Everything else is kind of outside your control. But what you can learn, and if you can get this in your head now, you're gonna make mistakes. That's fine. But when you go, right, just try all the stuff that could get in the way of you succeeding, whatever that is, right? Check that at the door. Whatever those things are, just check them at the door and go for it. And don't be afraid to fail, because even in failure, sometimes other doors open too.
I know Shawn's not gonna actually let me close the door either. She's gonna put her hand.
Well.
Shove it. My very nicely shod shoes will get in the way of your door.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna boot her in the butt through the door. Here, go now. But just honestly, you're very good, right? You're very, very good, and do not sell yourself short, right? Miss Shawn is also really, really good at what she does. So I think this is how we're gonna close this. This will probably air in December. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. It'll probably air in December. So, will there be a second book out by December?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we talk about that book coming up and where to find you two?
So the next book will be Nikki Knox and her sidekick. Yep. Okay. I don't know. Where are we going to have them? You've got some printed off ones of Nikki Knox and the Shoes That Rock. So
Taking them with me to the Calgary Holiday Expo. That's December 1st and 2nd. Coming right up, actually. It's more like again, I've never done these before, but I think it's more of like just holiday wear, various artists and stuff over there. I don't think there's any like celebrity guests coming, like a regular expo type thing, but it's specifically for like fan art and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take those with me to the Calgary Holiday Expo on the 1st and 2nd, and then I'll have everything again in April as the cover.
We should aim to have Sidekick Kip done so that you have 2 Nikki Knox books for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then a third one at least by April. So
Quarterly release kind of deal?
Nikki, Nicolette Jones. What is your NicoletteJonesArt.ca. You need to contact Nikki. She's got those books.
Okay. And how to find you, Miss Shawn?
ShawnBird.com.
Okay. Hold on a second here.
And that was my conversation with Shawn Bird and Nikki Jones. Nikki Knox and Her Shoes That Rock is available now. Check out Shawn's novel, Grace Awakening. Check out Nikki's art is, like I said, something really cool. I got a chance to actually have coffee with her while she was in town for the expo that was just walked by, and it was kind of cool. One of the things that has been reaffirmed over and over and over and over again in the last little bit is that, honestly, you don't know what you're worth until you go out and do things and do the things you feel inside you that you need to do. And I'm really proud of Nikki for doing that. And I'm hoping she keeps going because she's an amazing talent. Beyond all that, Shawn, I wish you the best recovery still. I know you eventually you're going to get through to the other side. I hope all is well. And Merry Christmas to you both. And both of you, I hope, get a chance to come back here another day. And that will do it for another episode of Just Joshing. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so in a number of different ways. I am on iTunes, Spotify, and, of course, Google Play. Check me out there, Just Joshing. Look me up. Leave a review. Write a comment. If you like the show, great. If you don't like the show, that's fine, too. But spread the word as whatever you can. My books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, and Wandering God, are currently available through MiraboleBooks.com. MirabolePublishing.com, I should say. I always get mixed with MirabolePublishing.com. You can check them out there. Amazon, Kobo, wherever books are sold, you can find me. Follow me. Go for it. Beyond all that, I may have a YouTube channel, Joshua Penteloresco. Subscribe there. There will eventually be new videos, I promise. Outside of that, stay inspired. Keep going. Keep doing. Keep dreaming. It can come true. After all, at the end of the day, why not you? All right. See you guys next time.
Josh.